Hello, my friends. I hope you're well. I've just got back from Turkey and I want to share my experience. And the only reason I share my experience is so people that are maybe looking to travel there can have an idea of what it's like. So, Turkey, I would describe as a third world country with masquerading as a first world country. And to put it in perspective, they have first world prices, meaning it's more expensive than London, but it's a third world country. So I land there with probably a few grand in Turkish lira in my pocket. But nobody accepts Turkish money. Everyone wants euros. They ask me where I'm from. I tell them I'm from UK. I'm from London, I tell them, because they don't know any other small cities. And then they say, okay, we take euros. And I'm like, you're Turkish. Your currency is the Turkish lira. I'm from the UK. My currency is sterling. Why are you asking for euros? They say, oh, it's a strong currency. And I understand the perspective of the Turkish currency being low. But what I don't get is they think they're smart by charging euros and buffing up the price. But what this does is it puts people in a perspective of, I came to Turkey, your unique selling point as a tourist is to give value for money. I put it in perspective. One slice of pizza they were charging 10 euros for, which is absolutely extortionate. Everywhere you went, now I'm Turkish, I speak Turkish. So I understand what they're saying. So I had a huge advantage. But the other thing is I don't look Turkish. So they don't assume I'm Turkish. My wife is Asian. My kids look Asian. Chinese, actually. But if we go there and we say, oh, how much is this? They give like some ridiculous price. And when I say ridiculous, I get it. Everywhere's a tourist trap. Everyone needs to make money. It's the same everywhere. But as a third world country, they were jumping so high up, people didn't want to spend money. And what I said to my wife is, they have a hotel full of people, yeah, but they're trying to go for the luxury market. So they actually don't want to, sell to everyone. They just want to sell to a few people and they'll make money. Give you an example, a massage was like 120 euros, yeah, 15-minute, 20-minute massage, which is a scam basically. And my wife done it, by the way. I had to pay. And you go there and you're like, okay, I'll get a bargain. But you don't get a bargain. So what I was saying to my wife is what they're not looking to do is get the volume. So they got a hotel full of people. I'll give you an example. The taxi rank I could see from my hotel room. Nobody took a taxi. So those guys were sitting there and I spoke to some of them because once they realize I'm Turkish, I say to them, why is no one getting a taxi with you guys? It was 60 euros for like a 10-minute journey. That's how much they were charging. 40 euros for 10 minutes, stuff like that. If you want to come back and forth. One way, 40 euros, 10 minutes journey. It should really cost. When I downloaded the Uber app and then it became like £4, £5. Anyway, so I said to them, why are you charging so much? They go, this is our price. We have to make a living. Inflation's so high in this country, blah, blah, blah. Giving a sad little Turkish story that no one believes. So I said to them, look, you should need to grab money from everyone and people are willing to spend. They go, no, everyone's cheap. For some reason, we got cheap tourists. I said, no, it's not the cheap tourists. It's they don't want to be taken advantage from. And this leaves a bad taste in the mouth because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Turkey was the place to go. And I haven't been for years. And it was like, you could go with £200 in your pocket and have a good time. And you could eat at restaurants. That's one meal now. They've ruined the tourism, the Turks there. And I went to Antalya. I've heard it's everywhere. So I started going on TikTok, watching all these videos. Everyone was saying the same thing. Everyone I spoke to in the hotel that I was in, it wasn't a classy establishment. We tried to find a classy like establishment. 5-star in Turkey is 1-star everywhere else in the first world, I would say. So it became a case of I speak to them and I tell them, look, you're shooting yourself in the foot. No one's going to come back here. And they say, no, everyone's just cheap. They kept saying everyone's cheap. And I'm like, people have money. They just don't want to spend it with you guys. It's ridiculous. So anyway, we go there, we land in the hotel. And the other thing was, I don't mind if things are expensive, but I want a level of service with that expensive taste. Yeah. So if I'm willing to spend money, the staff at the hotel and everywhere else were rude. It was like you weren't meant to be there. You didn't belong there. Yeah. So it was like Antalya wasn't a nice place. And I've been to countries where people are poor, but they're nice. They're trying to extract money from you. Happy days, of course. Everyone happy. I want everyone to make their money, but you go to spend money. But they're being rude. They're unhelpful. They never smile. Yeah, and I thought it's just their personality, but I'm Turkish. I know what they're like. If a celebrity came in there, you'd see them all smiling. If a singer come in there, famous singer, trust me, they'll all be smiling. Yeah, and then once you sit down and I talk to them, I'm like, why you look like this? Why are you doing that? And they're like, we have to make our money. This is the way it is. Our economy is so bad. But it's not bad to the point where you have to scam people, basically. And the pricing was scam level. And to the point where nobody's going to come back. Everyone I spoke to in the hotel was saying to me, we're never going to come back. We've been here 4 times. It's never been this bad. So the tourism in Turkey is going to take a nosedive, in my opinion. Yeah. Spain done the same thing. Spain was the hot place. Now it seems that maybe North Africa. It depends on budget. So the holiday, I paid 3,000 flight and hotel, something like that, for 6 days. And that was the budget. And that's not too expensive. I went to Dubai last and that cost £10,000. So I guess if you're at the £3,000 budget level, what you'll probably do is go to North Africa. Tunisia, Egypt, Morocco. I think they're the new Turkey. You'll probably have the same level of, I guess, standard, we would call it. It's not like British standard. Your 5-star hotel is going to be a 1-star in the UK, that type of thing. And even if you go there and you spend money and you get scammed, the people will be nice. In Turkey, the people are rude. And I don't mean at my hotel or where I went, everybody, they don't like tourists. Yeah. It just seemed like they just didn't want any tourists there, but they had to out of necessity. They want to take your money. And that's all it felt like. That's probably the best way to sum it up. Turkey's weather is nice. The food is delicious. But culturally, tourism, they're not appreciative of tourists in the Turkey. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I think it's going to die overnight. And they're expecting the boom to continue. But what happens is they've got rested on their laurels and they're like, tourists will always come. But I don't think tourists will be coming because everybody I spoke to there, eventually the tourism industry has been booming and it's not going to go flat. It's going to fall off a cliff. And it's going to be the case of Turkey's tourism industry is probably going to go down the pan and they're going to lose out to a lot of people, a lot of countries. So let me know if you've been to Turkey. Let me know if you've been to Antalya, anywhere else. Have you shared my experience, my moan? And thank you for listening. All the best and take care.